Hello and welcome back. So in this point here, we are going to see how we can use the HLOOKUP so that we can return the score for Ben. Yes, given that the subject is actually science. So we are using the HLOOKUP for exact match in a scenario where we have to return the score for Ben, given that we have the subject to be science. So HLOOKUP exact match. And it's actually very simple. So you can actually check that we have science on this point here, and we have Ben here, and they all meet in this point here. So the score for Ben, yes, when the subject is science, is actually equivalent to 71. But how can we actually obtain that by using the HLOOKUP? So before we actually do that, subscribe to this YouTube channel and also follow me on my X account. We are on a journey to build one of the largest data analysis platforms on X. So be part of this journey. I'll be happy. Now let's actually dive in. So it's equivalent to HLOOKUP like that. You open, it will ask you for the lookup value. We are looking for science. Now I want you to be very keen. Why am I not using Ben to be my lookup value? I am not using Ben to be my lookup value because in the HLOOKUP, the lookup value has to be on the first row of the table array. First row of the table array. So remember that if we have the lookup value to be equivalent to science, we will have to select our table array from that point. That's from H10 to M16. So the top row there is where we have science. Now you actually understand why science has to be the lookup value and not Ben. So science has to be the lookup value because inside the table array, science is actually on the top row or inside the first row, just like that. Comma, we are actually returning row number. Let's actually count. So this is row number 1, row number 2 of our table array, row number 3, row number 4, then row number 5. So row number 5 is where we actually do have Ben. Comma, are we returning approximate match or exact match? We are basically returning the exact match. Double click on it like that. It's actually false. You close. That's all. So in this point, the lookup value is actually science and not Ben because the row for science is actually on top. And remember in the HLOOKUP, the lookup value must actually be on the top row of the table array. So the moment I hit enter like that, we have 71. So the only point where you can use Ben to be the lookup value is when you are actually dealing with the VLOOKUP and not the HLOOKUP. So let me actually show you how we can obtain this same score by using VLOOKUP. Yes, when we use Ben to be the lookup value and not science itself. So before we actually check on that, I would actually bring you to this point here, and you can actually check that I'm accepting your work to design the templates. So I can actually design for you a template and manage it for you. Every month, you will actually have to pay just $50. And you can also ask for this one-time task. For example, if you need a template on personal finance, inventory management, reporting, HR trackers, sales performance trackers, I can actually get you all these templates. And the prices are actually cheap. $19, $12, $17, $22, $19, $15. And that's all. And down here, you can also check that I will be accepting the projects. Let's say, for example, if you are running a business and you actually need somebody who will be obtaining for you the dashboards, obtaining for you the pivot tables, the Power BI reports, the financial forecast, and managing the templates, I'll actually do that work for you. So monthly subscription, that one will be $550 every month. And for the one-time task, let's say, for example, for the dashboards, data analysis and insights, smart macros, Power BI reports, these are actually the prices from $150 all the way to $300. Very cheap indeed. And the best deal of all is if I actually add you to my Google Drive account so that you can actually access all these courses. Now, remember, my site is actually on hold a bit because there is something I'm actually working on. And you can actually access all these courses at just $100 because I'll actually add you to my Google Drive. And when the site is actually back, you won't actually lose that access because access is actually lifetime. Now imagine accessing all these courses at $100 when the deal will actually be going at $945. That's actually insane, right? So grab the opportunity and actually master the Excel. So that's all. So for the projects, templates, And the courses, this is actually my email. So reach me out so that we can actually talk business, and I'll actually help you propel your business forward. Now let's actually see how we can use the VLOOKUP so that we can obtain this same result. And in this point here for the VLOOKUP, we'll actually be using Ben to be the lookup value. Yes, so the only point where Ben will be the lookup value, yes, is when you will be using the VLOOKUP and not the HLOOKUP. So let's actually see. It's equivalent to VLOOKUP like that. You open lookup value in this case now has to be Ben, comma, the table array. So this is the table array, comma, we are returning the column for science, and science is actually on column number. Let's actually count. So this is column number 1 for the names, column number 2 for maths, number 3 for English, number 4 for arts, number 5 for science. So 5 like that, comma. Are we returning the approximate match or the exact match? The exact match. Just like that. Close. The moment I hit enter, I'll actually obtain 71. Just like that. So the only point where you can have Ben to be your lookup value is when you are dealing with the VLOOKUP. And the only point where you have science to be your lookup value is when you are dealing with the HLOOKUP.